Hi, welcome back to Broker Brains. I am Shanna with Cascadia Northwest.
And I'm Andy Costello, co-owner of Venture Commercial Real Estate. We're here this week to talk about what, Shanna?
We're very organized today. No, we are actually organized. We are here to talk about utilizing a coach in your real estate business. And we both have kind of different perspectives on that because I've worked with a ton of different coaches.
And I've worked with none. And so we were going to talk about three different things today about when maybe it's time to consider hiring a coach if you're going to hire one at all. The first one being whether you're going to do what the coaches suggest that you do and holding yourself accountable to getting those things done.
Yeah.
Also making sure that you have the budget to hire, which we'll talk about that and like when you are in your career. And then the last item we were going to talk about related to coaching was
Choosing wisely.
yes,
And it ties back to that budget item because it's expensive.
very expensive.
I have worked with a ton of different coaches from different companies over the years. I if I were able to afford to just be a college student for the rest of my life, that's what I would do. And I would just have like 30 PhDs by now.
Wow.
I like learning. I like being
Mm-hmm.
instructed. I like being in an environment of having a project and something new to tackle. So for me, coaching kind of feeds that little bit of I want to be learning something new.
Mm-hmm.
Pro tip, you're not learning anything new when you wait until your license is about to expire in, say, 3 weeks and you cram in your 30 CEUs online. That's not learning anything new.
Correct.
So coaching is about your development for yourself, not about can I get hours for this to renew my license.
Yeah, I would agree with you about that. And I have never really pursued the coaching avenue, and for lots of reasons. I know how to keep myself accountable. Also, the money. How else could I leverage that money to do other things for prospecting? Because obviously, you're paying for somebody to teach you some new things and to hold you accountable. But I'd rather spend that money prospecting or growing
Yeah.
my business in other ways. And I think a lot of the basic concepts that coaches teach, especially on the residential side. There are some commercial brokerage coaching systems out there that I haven't really dived into too much because it really comes down to the money, not wanting to spend that right now as I'm doing other things to grow my business, but really trying to understand whose philosophies you really resonate
Yeah.
with. And, a lot of these coaches, whether, they've produced books or they produce podcasts or they have free webinars. And so for me, once I kind of hear what their basic premise is, I've been pretty successful in leveraging that for myself and, using what works for me, picking and choosing.
I think you though are more self-disciplined
Mm.
than a lot of people. You
Yeah,
really are. Like
yeah.
you do hold yourself accountable and you do kind of set these standards for yourself and you're the kind of person that can make a daily schedule and then follow the daily schedule.
Hmm.
Not everybody is able to do that. So if you need that kind of extra outside accountability push, I mean, you could always just kind of find another agent that wants to buddy up and hold each other accountable.
Hmm.
But if you're looking to just kind of expand and grow a little bit, then finding a good coach could be a good
Hmm.
option for you.
Yes, I'm not opposed to coaching. I think coaching is great, and if money were no object, and I could spend $1,000 a month on a coach, I'm not saying that they're all that expensive, but
But they
I
are.
would have no problem doing that. I just have to look at what's the return versus me spending that doing something else, and what has a higher return until I get to maybe a place in my business where I just kind of feel stuck. But I also know what we were talking earlier is you're not just paying for a coach for a month or 2 months.
Right.
You really need to stick with their coaching program for a year, maybe 2 years to see some long-term results. And so if I know I'm not willing to commit to doing that, I struggle like not wanting to spend the money because I know I'm not
Yeah.
going to get the results if I don't
And
stick with
what
it.
we are both also in a different place in our
Hmm.
careers, though, than a lot of agents that are still trying to work with, you're still trying to kind of nail down their groove on their prospecting and their lead gen and where their next deal is coming
Hmm.
from. So when you're saying like you have other things that you need to put your money on, you just bought a building.
Right.
You just
Hmm.
renovated an office building for your business. But if you're an agent who is just still in that solo agent phase of life and you're like, I need to learn some new stuff,
Hmm.
start looking at what resonates with you with different coaching companies. And vet them.
Yeah, we were talking about that too. Is checking the references, maybe talking to agents in your market that use them, or even outside of your market to see what success that they've had with the coaching, because I think that that's really important, because there's especially maybe coaches that are out there that aren't as established as some of the coaches that have been around for decades. Some of these newer ones, it's a lot of companies, not just in coaching, make money on the backs of real estate agents that work
Yeah.
really hard, and then they find ways to get real estate agents to keep spending their money on things that may or may not ever help their business. And so I was always very skeptical in the beginning, because I'm like, well, what, you can't make me any guarantees, and I understand, but I just want to make sure I'm going to get some
Yeah,
ROI.
at least let me talk to somebody who has
Mhm.
had success with your program. If they
Right.
can't do that, that might
Yes.
mean there is nobody.
Correct. You're right.
So you
100.
want to kind of vet that it's not a cult
Mhm.
and it's not a scam
Mhm.
and that it is not something that is so outside of your comfort zone of how you want to run your business. There are some coaches, like we were talking about, we're both big fans of Brian Buffini.
Mhm.
And what are his three pillars? Pop buys,
Items
handwritten notes,
and items of
and items
value.
of value.
Mhm.
So that really resonates for both of us. If your business is built on robo dialing, cold calling, and perfecting your scripts, then that's a different kind of coach. And there are coaches out there for that. And there are agents who make millions of dollars using that model. Not saying one model is better than the other, saying you have to find the one that resonates with you, because there's nothing worse than spending a ton of money for somebody to tell you how to do something and you look at it and go, yeah, I'm not doing that,
Yes.
because they're not giving you your money back at that point.
Yes, yes. And I really would suggest that if you are investigating any type of coaching program, seeing if they have a podcast or a YouTube channel, because I learned a lot just by listening to them when I'm in the car and like, oh, this person really doesn't resonate with me at all. Or like, wow, I really can get into what you're saying. And that you can really get a sense of who they are and the styles that they would teach, about whether that's
Yeah,
something that would work for you before you even go to their websites, or look at what they're all about, or talk to any references, because I think that they can show you who their true colors are by the free content that they offer.
for sure. And they should be offering free content that's valuable and not just free content that says, hire me.
Right.
And that's a really good red flag right there. If all of the free content ends in, I was about to tell you how to do something really cool, and now if you just join, I'll finish telling you.
Right.
No,
Right. And they also have summits, and I think a lot of the coaches offer things that you can pay to go away for a weekend or a few days during the week, and maybe also have a chance at a lower cost to see
yeah,
what they're all about again, before spending and making the commitment to year or years long coaching with somebody that you're not going to do what they're telling you to
and
do.
I love those opportunities. Like, I never want to go anywhere, but then I'm always glad that I did go when it's a professional
Development,
conference. Yeah,
yeah.
like a conference. I always get excited about it, and then I buy my ticket, and then it's time to go, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to go. It's so cold outside, or it's raining, or oh, I'm going to miss the one good weekend. And then, but I've never gone and come back and said, well, I really wish I had skipped that,
Mm.
because you're always going to get something. And we've talked about that before a long time ago. Anything you go to, if you can just walk out with one thing, it doesn't have to be life altering. It doesn't have to be every minute that I was here has resonated with me and it's going to change the way I do everything. Just look for that one nugget that you can walk away with.
Yes. Yes.
It makes it worthwhile. We would love to hear where you fall on the coaching spectrum. Have you worked with a coach? Are you looking for a coach? We just kind of want to find out where people in the industry are with that. So drop us a comment and we would love to hear from you.
Thank you so much for watching this week. Take care of yourself, and if you can, someone else too. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.